Hi everyone! So, welcome back again to today's episode of One Hot Topic. So, today is June 20, 2025, and it is about 11 Friday evening. Happy Friday, everybody! So, today we are diving into something very different from the pageant world. This is the wild story of Leanna Perry. It's still related to fashion and beauty industry. Leanna Perry is known for her bold visuals. It launched her stellar career in fashion and beauty. But just recently, I say 2 days ago, 3 days ago, that rise took a shocking turn with an in flight meltdown with Southwest Airlines. And this unfortunately made a national headlines, and I think it led to some legal charges and probably an arrest. So, on this video, we will unpack her creative journey, her high profile brand collaboration. So, we will be looking at that, look at who she worked with, because she did work with some of the biggest names in fashion and beauty and really making waves in the industry. And of course, we'll get into that shocking incident that caught everyone off guard and changed everything, I would say, with her life and also with her careers. And this is the video that's circulating online. It has a lot of, I would say, profanities in it, and I'll try to block those words as we watch it, and then we'll. Okay, great. So let's start with this video here.
There. No, no, this is where her ass is. Do not touch her. Look at her. Shut the fuck. Be don't fuck. Let go. No importa de ella. Let go. Let go of her hair. You cannot do that. Let go, man. Let go of her hair. I'm not. I'm not even touching her hair, bitch.
You need to let go right now.
We need those 911.
You need to let go.
911 back.
You need to let go right now. No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to sit next to a fat lady. Let go.
You need to let go right now.
Let go over here.
You guys are already past the point of no return. You're already past the
Let
point
go
of no
over
return.
here.
Let go of her hair, miss. Y'all see me. You know what's going on. It's just put me on the ground. Put me on the ground. All right. Look at this fat lady. Look at this fat ass bitch. You can't even look. You can't even see her stomach. It's horrible. Look at her outfit. Look at this fat ass bitch. Hilarious. You can't even show your mouth because you're embarrassed. You can't even see it because you're embarrassed. Shut the f up.
Who's the one?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, ugly ass dude. Who's never gonna lay it again? Okay, I'm sorry, black guy. My boyfriend's black, so shut the fuck up. My boyfriend's black guy. My boyfriend's black. My boyfriend's black. My boyfriend's a black guy. You're joking.
Oh my god.
We're not doing all that. We're not doing Shut the fuck. 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 Yeah, full of shit,
Isn't that so horrible? I just feel so bad for this lady here. And I did not even hear her say anything, which is so sad. I feel so sad for her. It's really a wild video. And it could be because, who knows? I think they said that she is, as you can see in here, she is drunk. So it could be that she was under that influence, and that's why she had this meltdown. So who knows? So this is Leanna Perry. She was born and raised in Lee Summit, Missouri. This is a suburb of Kansas City. And it seems she grew up alongside with three siblings, three brothers, in a relatively Midwest household. So when we say a classic Midwest upbringing, so she had a classic Midwest upbringing. So I would say pretty grounded and maybe quiet, but it looks like she had some creative sparks. So when we say classic Midwest upbringing, I would say pretty grounded and very quiet. So her upbringing has been described as typical Midwestern, again rooted and So her upbringing has been described as typical Midwestern, so rooted in a relatively quiet suburban environment. So nothing too flashy or nothing flashy at all, just a normal childhood that you would think would have really shaped her foundational values. So there is not, her date of birth has not been publicly disclosed, but with her age, which is, I think she's about 32, so that I would estimate her birth year is about 1992 or 1993. And so from a very young age, Leanna showed a strong interest in the arts, especially in drawing and pattern design. So we will be looking a lot of her artworks. They're really nice, I have to say. So you could say that she really was destined for this path, and those early interests were a clear sign of what was to come. So according to some sources and some articles that I've read online, she spent much of her youth sketching and experimenting with color and developing distinctive creative ideas that would later define her professional work. So that lots of experimentation in her youth is what set her apart, and she was really already crafting her signature style from a very young age. Okay, so let's look at some more pictures here. Here she is. It says Leanna, art director and designer, and it says confident, hardworking, and chill. So it looks like she's got some communities, or she's part of some communities. This one is this website called workingnotworking.com, and she was featured in this website. So as we go through some of her works here, there you go. And unfortunately, I cannot click on it. But you will see that she's got that bold, graphic heavy aesthetics. In her work, it's edgy and pop art inspired. And we will look at her resume as well. So this is Betsy Johnson. It looks like this is Betsy Johnson. That is also Betsy Johnson. So lots of collaboration that she has. Betsy Johnson there as well. There is also this scotch tape here, washi tapes. And let's see what else she's got here. Nicole Miller, EOS. And like I said, her website is down. So these are just more like a saved older version that the Wayback Machine was able to save. So Betsy Johnson Shoes is also there. Okay, I mean, her work is really impossible to ignore. It's just got that bright, bold, and totally in-your-face design. So prior to the incident, and I think she is still based in Williamsburg in Brooklyn, with her really good resume and career history, she has carved out this distinctive space in New York City's fashion and art scene. And you will also see that, like we said, with her collaborations with these top tier brands and designers. Okay, so we'll look at more of her pictures here. I think this one is also Leanna Perry, so this is hers. You'll see that this is her website, and it says New York in there. So she attended and had a formal training in the arts at the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, so that is MCAD, and she actually earned her Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Graphic Design in 2014. So she did have a solid education from a top art school that really honed her skills. And it also says, I read somewhere, that she was later inducted into Mensa, reflecting her high performance on the standardized intelligence testing. So it seems like she's not just creative, but seriously smart as well. So from Missouri, she moved to New York City. So post-college, she relocated to Brooklyn, New York, and immersing herself in the fashion and art scene of Williamsburg. where her career rapidly took off through partnerships with, again, brands like Adidas, Maybelline, and MAC Cosmetics. I think she spent 2 years in China, if I'm not mistaken. If I can only pull her resume, the rest of her resume somewhere in here. I think this is where I found it. So let's see if I can go down. So it says here, so she's got her email address there and all of the good stuff. She said Leanna Perry is a designer and an artist based in New York with 9 years of in-house experience working in the fashion and beauty industries. Her artwork has been used by many brands including Adidas, Originals, Betsy Johnson, Milk Makeup, Vans, MAC Cosmetics, Maybelline, Shein, Forever 21, Nicole Miller, Steve Madden, and ID Magazine. So it says here, delicate pattern-based artwork with bold graphics and intricate hand lettering. Her high-contrast illustrated landscapes are infused with radical softness. Her visual world draws on an environment of abandoned buildings, underground cultures, organic decay, luxury fashion textiles, black metal, and lust for excess. So you'll see she was a designer, higher level designer for Maybelline, and that was April 2024 to probably recent. So I'm not sure what's the status of her employment with this company. And it looks like she also worked with Ann Taylor, and this is from November 2023 to March 2024, and she was an art director. And I'm not sure if these ones are freelance jobs, right? Or if are they working with them, or is she working with them as a full-time employee? That I don't know, because I know of someone who does a lot of freelances and work with so many famous people and again, top tier organizations and brands, but he is doing freelance photography for them. So MAC Cosmetics, and this could probably explain just those very few months, because the longest I think was the one when she worked in China. So we'll take a look at that. So she worked with MAC Cosmetics as a senior designer, and again, not even a whole year. It's February 2023 to November 2023. So very short employment. Okay, Nicole Miller, again, that is January 2022. So this one is a little bit over a year, and January 2022 to February 2023. So February, and then February to November. So she's been, moving from one place to another, it looks like. Okay, with MAC Cosmetics, she was there from June 2021 to December 2021. So that's 6 months. And Betsy Johnson, December 2019 to July 2020. So you'll see from July 2020, no employment, or probably did not add it here, but she probably did some freelance from July 2020 to June 2021. So that is almost 1 year of not having that history there. And prior to working with Betsy Johnson, she worked with EOS, and this is July 2020 to January 2021. And then Beauty Quest Group, again, senior designer, so from April to June, so just several months there. And then a clothing company from July 2018 to December 2019, so over a year. Milk Makeup, April to April. So okay, so this one, it does say freelance designer. Okay, so freelance designer. Okay, and then for some fashion accessories here, September to January. 16 to 18. So this was it says China here. Okay, and she was a designer. Okay, so I think that's the one that I was looking. That so far was the longest employment record that she has. And then again, she was working with MAC Cosmetics back. This one too is 2 years from junior. She was a junior designer from 2015 to 2017, and then also just okay, it looks like. So this one, it looks like she is an intern. So she was an intern from April to July 2017. Okay, so head printer 2013 to 2014, assistant designer from 2014 to 2015. So a long resume here, and there is only one that she said she is. It's only one that she said she was a freelance designer, and then one that she was a intern, and the rest, is it safe for me to assume that she was fully employed? But this one again here is from April 2024 to recent, to right now, or to current. So I wonder what's gonna happen to that. So clearly she gained industry attention for this, for her dynamic work in fashion illustration, probably product design and digital branding. It looks like she's not just an illustrator, but a full creative force across multiple disciplines. Okay, so here, again, the brand design, you have all these huge brands here that she worked with. Okay, and then you also have apparel designs. So she worked with Shein as well. So for Betsy Johnson, let's see if I can click it and maybe we can load that, but it doesn't look like it. It's not pulling those links, by the way, so that's fine. And then of course Nicole Miller and Mass Market, and her website is there. She also has an Instagram, and Instagram is also down. And then you have that link to this resume in here. Okay, so you have her year of birth, where she's based off, and then it says in here, member of Mensa, the world's oldest and largest high IQ society, and you also have her educational background here. Okay, so she has all this list of freelance projects that is on her CV. And then in-house design experience, so she has all this in-house design experience. Those are the ones that we were going over a while ago. And then she's got that murals, that's the big one that we saw. Let me see if I can load this low Brook here. Okay, and it says an error occurred, so I'm not able to load that. And then it looks like she was also doing some sort of a speech with Pratt Institute. And also she had a talk at the artist lecture and guest critique in 2020. She has a lot of exhibitions. So she had exhibitions from 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9, 18, and then 22. So years and years of exhibition, it looks like it, art exhibitions. She also collaborated with some music projects. And then you have that Club Fantasy in there, and then some select clients too that she worked with. Okay, and then Underground Underdogs, and some written articles probably about her. And she appeared on some press coverage or articles that we see here. And then she also has some art book and magazine features. If I click on one just to see if it's pulling it up. Okay, so again, that one is not pulling up that information. This one though, I think this one is pulling it. This one is showing that Raindrops and Broken Hearts. Yeah, that's how it looks like. Raindrops and Broken Hearts. And there is some information here I cannot read. But it says it's a collection of intricate black and white drawings by Leanna Perry, exploring dark nights and complicated relationships. Hard-edged metal objects such as barbed wire and chain link fences are embedded within a delicate and soft emotional landscape of flowers, hearts, eyelashes, faux eyelashes, complex illustrated patterns weave in and out of the stark black and white super graphics. Nostalgia for early 2000s MySpace emo graphics bleeds out heavily. Adorned diamonds, butterflies, razor blades, and traditional black metal lettering. Okay, so that I was able to pull that from that link, and it's all, and I know that it's because I was trying on the links. So let's see if this one is also pulling. Yeah, that one too is pulling that art, the graphic arts that she has. And this one here is a nightclub. and limited edition collaboration by Leanna Perry, Alyssa Cox, and Eddie Pirotte. Okay, and again, it seems like it's the same topic. It says drenched in flames, barbed wire, and diamond chains again. Okay, let's look at this heavy metal here. Maybe, yep, that one too. We can see it. I just want to see what's the description of the item. So heavy metals zine, and it says a graphic exploration of luxury fashion textiles in contrast to industrial grade metal patterns. The pages of heavy metal zine are drenched in black with undertones of excess and urban decay. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Thrill, and this was in 2015. Okay. Oh, there are actually a lot more pictures on the bottom too on how it looks like. Okay, so that looks like patterns. So grids, foliage, and patterns galore. Okay, yeah, those are patterns for sure. And then Out of Hand back in 2014. So it must be good to be doing arts and being paid a lot of money doing these arts. I would love to do arts, but you know, unless you are very famous, then you'll get paid probably great amount of money. But if not, then you're not gonna have enough money to pay your bills, right? And same thing for this one. It looks like these are patterns as well. Okay, so that one was back in 2014. It says here, Out of Hand. Out of Hand is a fast-paced graphic wonderland exploring what exactly is too much, question mark. Situations that require the most risk that can often be the most rewarding, fueled by the sum of everything fun on planet Earth. Out of Hand is visual exploration into how limits, risks, and boundaries can be straddled in many situations to protect new opportunities. Okay. And then Sheer Pandemonium. See how does this look like? Oh goodness. Into the darkness. It says be kind to others, and it does say violence in the bottom there. Butterflies, dragonfly, and it says it's been emotional. I don't know how I feel. So kind of emo, don't you think? Love of my life, and this is tortured. The things you showed me destroyed my reality. Will I ever feel safe again? Keep it cool. After party. I wear black on the outside because black is how I feel on the inside. Okay, dragonflies there. And she said real sensitive. What is the description of this? It's a little kind of dark. So it says Dragonflies and Decay zine is a collection of delicate pattern-based illustrations, intricate hand lettering, and bold super graphics reflecting on rebirth, growth, and finding new life after destruction. Okay, a glimmer of softness in the dark, delicate organic drawings of flowers, moths, butterflies, and other insects float in and out of cool, hard-edged world of agony, barbed wire, chain link, fences, and sharp metal objects. Emotional landscapes of abandoned relationships. The pages of Dragonflies and Decay zine are adorned with tormented environment of heavy decay and a soft, hopeful light shining through. And then lastly, Obstacle Course in 2012. Okay. Let's go. That's what it said. Okay, obstacle course 2012, and there's 20 pages here. It says a visual obstacle course merging formal challenges with reality-based obstacles. Working together, form, line, and movement can create a direction for the eye to travel in ahead. Okay, so those are some of her publications, artist publications, and a lot of her pieces are for sale at the following locations. Her portfolio alone includes all these major collaborations, and you know, landing a lead designer in this major brands, it's really huge. It shows how much trust the industry put in her. Anyways, going to this New York Post article here, it was dated June 19, so this was just recently. The title of the article is "Drunk Southwest Passenger Who Grabbed Woman's Hair in Meltdown is New York Artist Who Works with Steve Madden at Adidas and Maybelline." And it was written by Patrick Riley, and it says here, "The drunken passenger who grabbed a woman's hair and spat on her face during an explosive meltdown on a Southwest Airlines flight is New York City-based artist who has worked for high-end brands like Maybelline, Steve Madden, and Adidas," according to her online profile. Leanna Perry, again, she is 32 years old. She is an illustrator, was filmed berating fellow passengers and throwing a violent fit as travelers and airline employees tried to remove her from the plane at the LaGuardia airport early Tuesday morning. The bizarre outburst led witnesses to describe Perry as seemingly possessed before she was escorted off and arrested. So there she is. It says Leanna Perry left. So this is her. She has worked as an artist and designer for those big companies. And it says Perry's social media and website where she shares her work revealed that when she's not ruining flights, she's worked as an artist and designer for major brands. And she began working for Maybelline just last year as a leading designer. And then it also tells you all of the other brands there that we already looked into. And then she's got some of and then they also have some of what happened on the plane here. So Perry screamed at the bewildered woman, video shows, before other passengers and airline staff intervened. And a Southwest employee repeatedly asked Perry to let go of her hair, woman's hair, but she refused. Video shown. We'll look at that video very shortly. And it says staff initially separated the two and zip-tied Perry's hands behind her back, but her tantrum wasn't over. Perry continued to hurl insults at this lady in here, calling her ugly, and all other words there, while other passengers also got caught in her verbal line of fire. And she did say, "I'm sorry, black guy, my boyfriend's black, so shut up," she slurred to a man assisting the Southwest employees as she stumbled. Really sad, really sad. And there are more pictures here, and you can see that she's smiling. So weird. Look at how she's smiling here. Doesn't she look like Britney Spears there for some reason? Okay. Perry then lifted her head and spit right in the face of the woman that she had been harassing. Okay. And then, my goodness, she is so vile. And then Perry then stated that she can't breathe and fell to the floor between the seats. Okay. She was zip-tied and flailing like she was possessed, one of the witnesses posted online. According to the International Business Times, the entire flight was horrified. She also kicked her legs and spit at officers while they were trying to get her off the aircraft and place her under arrest. And that is according to the criminal complaint. Once she was removed, cops tried placing her in a wheelchair. Once she was removed, cops tried placing her in a wheelchair while handcuffed. She then spit on an officer and kicked him in the leg. My gosh. So here it says, best known for her cute and kitschy designs with subversive edge, Leanna makes decorative, colorful artwork for all surfaces, drawing inspiration from underground subcultures. Each pattern has a look and feel specific to a trend. But my gosh, she would have thrown her career out the window. I mean, Shein is not even showing her picture anymore on the ads that she has. And I'm sure that, all these ones here, like this colossal media, where they were working for like a freelance for Adidas, they're gonna have to take it down. They're gonna have to take it down. And so was her employment with Maybelline. Leanna's story is a stark reminder of how quickly things can change. even for someone like her who I feel is at the top of her game. And for someone from a quiet Midwestern childhood to the creative heights of New York's fashion world, and then out of nowhere, a public meltdown like this. This recent controversy highlights the complexities behind what's going on with her as an individual. It's, I would say, a cautionary tale about the pressures of fame and the challenges that comes with it. So, but what happens next for Leanna, of course, remains to be seen. Will she be able to make a comeback? You know, probably really hard to do that. I would think that this incident here will define her legacy. Nobody's gonna want to work with her again, at least for a very long time. Okay, so if you want to stay updated on this unfolding story and more in fashion, art, beauty, culture, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and thank you once again for watching One Hot Topic, and catch you in the next video. Bye!